Oh, no, 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 no. Hello, and welcome back to the channel. And what a lovely day it is today. So, when you decide to go outside, what do you use to go from A to B? Your feet. And what does the sun look like? A ball. Yeah. So when you put those two things together, what do you get? Feet ball. No, no. We're talking about football. Now, I am no football genius, okay? I have a very limited experience when it comes to this beautiful game. But what I do have is years of FIFA knowledge. So based off of all that, I have discovered this about football. Is that I have won the treble. I've gone back to back. I've won the Champions League. I've won the Premier League. I've won it all on FIFA. FIFA 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Hell, even 26, and it ain't even out yet. Okay? And that took a lot of skill. Okay? I wasted a lot of time and hours of my teenage life and my adult life to get all of that. And I regret nothing. But we see the badge. It is obvious. With success comes sacrifice. Unfortunately, with this badge, there have been too many sacrifices and not enough success. So, why is this club, Manchester United, in the pits that it is in? Why is there no future? Why every time I watch this team perform, I am left questioning. I'm left wondering. I'm left broken. It's been too long. I've sacrificed too much for too little. So come with me. Let's get to the absolute bottom of this problem. By no means am I a football player, okay? But what I am is a man who is a fan of a team that has no plan. Bars. Now, there have been many players that have come and gone from this great club. From the likes of Paul Pogba to the likes of Ibrahimovic, Cristiano Ronaldo, some of the greats in this game. From them lot to the likes of Jesse Lingard, Ander Herrera, to even Johnny Evans. Yeah. But for whatever reason, as talented as these players are, they have not been able to crack the code of this club. It don't matter what team, it don't matter what manager. The problems at this club have been the same. So what are they? So let us begin with the first problem, in my opinion. What does every team have? every team, it don't matter if you're this level or a different level, a different country. What does every team have? Players. So let's start with the players. Now, in my opinion, with the players, it is a different issue. It is a bunch of different issues. It could be the mentality, it can be the ability, it could be a combination of both. Are they good enough? Are they, are they mentally checked out? You know, and the way I see it, listen, I don't live like a footballer. Okay, I don't train like a footballer. I don't eat, sleep like a footballer. But the way I see these players play every single week, hell, it makes you think. Neither do they. Hell, it almost makes me feel like I could do a better job. What? Okay.
Torres to give Chelsea a place in the Champions League.
Belly gol! Belly gol! Bellingham! É ele! O iluminado do Bellingham! Mas pode chamá-lo de Belly gol!
Oh right. As I was saying, it is the players. So what are the exact problems with the players of this club? Well, let me start with one, in my opinion. There is no passion, there is no vision, there is no aggression in these players when it comes to on the pitch. Hell, even off the pitch. Okay? The amount of low IQ players we have in this team is sickening. Right? You have players who can barely string together 5 passes on the pitch. You have players who can barely whip in a cross at the perfect time. Instead, they choose to try and take on a defender, or they just shoot. Looking at you, Delo. Exactly. But then you also have these ex players, these pundits who, don't get me wrong, I respect what they've done for this badge, for this game, for this country. But just because you've played this game for 20 years doesn't give you the right to criticize other managers who know this way more than you ever will do. Looking at you, Gary Neville. But that is besides the point. Because in my opinion, the mentality of these players and the bad decision making of the players have cost us points. They've cost us very important games. How many more? How many more times should we as fans trust these players who clearly have proven why they cannot be trusted? Listen, I'm just a man who has seen history, okay? I'm just a guy who has seen this club fall again and again and again. The question is how much more do you want to take?
Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or. Vinicius has just taken the Ballon d'Or.
After witnessing my technical masterclass, my technical wizardry, it does bear a question when you see these players: is are they just good enough? You know, and what matters more, the ability or the passion? Because we have had a lot of players here at this club who have the ability, but we also had a fair share of players who also have the passion but lack that ability. So it depends. What is more important to you? I think to me personally, I don't care. Whatever wins us our games. I don't care if our best player loves this club or hates the club. I couldn't care less. As long as they win, as long as they get a win for us. But it feels like now in this team there are too many players who have the passion, no doubt about it. You know, this job for them is a dream job. Playing for one of the richest, most historic clubs in the world. But they just aren't good enough. So at what point do you say, mate, I appreciate all your hard work, but it ain't working. It ain't working. You know, and then you have players who are good enough, but they lack the mentality to provide when it matters the most. And what you need really is you need a balance, and we don't have that balance. In my opinion, there are too many players who have the passion, but nowhere near the ability to be a part of this club in a rebuild. Like, it's one thing to be a part of this club, Manchester United, a team that wants to win. It's another thing to be a part of it in a rebuild, on the pitch and off the pitch as well. A team that one day, hopefully, maybe, probably not, but wants to win trophies on a consistent level. And you look around and you look at the Liverpools or the cities and you compare them and you're like, well, would these players in this shirt play for the other team? Probably not. Hell, they probably wouldn't even get on their bench, no matter how passionate they are. And that brings me to the captain of this club, Bruno Fernandes. Now, I like Bruno. I like Bruno a lot. I think he is one of our best captains over the last 10 years. But at the same time, I see a lot of people hating on him. Let's walk. So, with Bruno, he's a very passionate player. And he has the ability to lead this team to great things. But in my opinion, I think with Bruno, does he get into an Arsenal side? Does he get into a Manchester City side? Does he get into a Liverpool side? I can't say. I can't say a guaranteed yes. I would love to, but I can't. So, whilst I don't think Bruno is our problem, because there is way more than just one problem. It is an array of problems. But at the same time, I'm not going to lie. If I was the manager, I'd be looking to replace Bruno over the next 2 years. I'd keep him now, of course I would, but next year, what? He'll be what? 31, 32? How much better can he really get? But yeah, so me personally, I value the player's ability over if they've got the passion. McTominay, passionate player, will die for this club. Just never good enough for this club.
Oh my God! This is what he does! This is what he flipping does!
Light work. Ugh, man. You talk about hard work, and you talk about graft. You know, that is accountability. It's what matters on the pitch also matters off the pitch as well. Accountability, not being complacent. And the way I see it, too many players have gotten complacent because they know they're going to get picked. You know, because they have people in their pockets. They have power, a thing called player power. They have the trust of the board. They have the trust of the media, of the fans that, they love this club. And I'ma just call it how it is. It isn't fair. And I noticed that these players who typically do fall into the category of player power are typically our own players, typically British players, because they're fancied by the media and the pundits. They don't get criticised, but hey, let's criticise Martinez or Bruno or, Delict, players who have been quite consistent for us. And let's ignore how Harry Maguire never really was good enough, and we overpaid for him. 80 million quid for Harry Maguire, a guy who never in his prime, if he ever had a prime, never would get into a Chelsea, an Arsenal. It just wouldn't happen. But let's ignore all the bad years and let's focus on the fact that he had one good year, a few decent months, and now all of a sudden he's a legend of this club. I think player power has killed this club on the pitch and off the pitch, and you've seen too many managers, Ten Hag, Mourinho, Rangnick, all just, they can't win because the players drop their heads and they complain about the tactics and the style of play, when in reality they're not good enough. They're not good enough to play an advanced style of play. They like to sit back, be very defensive and play long balls up the pitch, which is great if you're a mid-table Premier League side, which I guess is what we are now. But we want to be more. We want to win. And when I see players who I feel I have that hope in, I look at two players who a year ago were our future, and now all I'm hearing is they could be sold in the summer. Kobbie Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho, two of our brightest young players. Now all I'm hearing is they're not good enough, or they're going to have to get sold because this club has no money, which is embarrassing. If we get rid of one of our brightest talents, then what is the point? If we get rid of those players, even just one of those two, but yet we give another contract to a Maguire or a Dalot, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? What is the identity of this club? It's mediocrity. And then it's almost as if you want someone to speak out about it. But who am I? So who can speak out about it? Well, it won't be the media, because they have their favourites. It's a shame. If we really do sell a Garnacho or a Mainoo, it'll be heartbreaking, because tactically it doesn't make sense. They're still very young players with a ton of room to grow. It'll be very sad, and it'll be one of the nails in this coffin of this club. I'm not done. Hold on. Wait. I thought of more stuff. Okay, I originally did an ending. I sat on it, but I thought of more stuff to complain about. Okay, the players are also heavily overpriced. They earn way too much for too little, and yeah, I just think transfer wise, it is impossible to fix the problems at this club when it comes to the players, because we pay our players way too much, way too much. Who's gonna want to pay, over 200k for Bruno, for Rashford, for Casemiro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense. Um, and then and it feels like with every transfer that that we've had, either in or out, for the ones that are in, we pay way too much, right? Let me just hold up. Good. We pay way too much, right? Which therefore that overvalues them, and if they flop, it makes us look even worse, right? It puts so much pressure on the player to perform up to their price tag. But then when it comes to players um, exiting the club, we are terrible negotiators, right? We we barely make any profit off players who we sell, but we still have players who are in the club who we're still paying for. We haven't paid the full price for Hoyland or you know Agate. Like, it's ridiculous, and it's not the player's fault, but at the same time, it's just pressure. It's pressure, and it's another hurdle that inevitably it crumbles us down, you know, and ultimately there are players who just aren't good enough to live up to their price tag and to earn their wages. Our highest paid player, our star boy, right? Our guy, our face of the team is playing on loan, at Aston Villa. Like, here's the thing. I'm not a Rashford guy. I used to be. I'm not anymore. I don't think he's good enough. I think all he has really is potential, and at 28, I don't think he's going to happen. But that is embarrassing. A guy who 2 years ago we were building a team around. He's now playing at a club that is better than us, that is higher than us, and he's our highest paid guy. And I mean, you would never see any other club ever have to do that, and that is just a small glimpse into what a car crash of a club we have become. Um, it's embarrassing, man. After all the points that I've made about the players, if it's their ability, if it's their price tag, if it's their mentality, the question remains: are the players the problem at Man United? And my opinion is they are a problem. Here's the thing, and I'll say this again and again and again. I don't think there is just one problem. It's an array of problems. Yes, the players are a problem in many different ways. No player who plays for this club right now can say they are squeaky clean, can say they aren't a problem. Everybody is a problem because that is the culture. We inherit problems, we make problems. The players pass on their problems onto other players. It is a toxic culture at this club, and it has been passed down over the last 10 plus years. So while yes, I do recognise that the players are a problem, they are not the problem. And whilst I will stand down on this, and I will say this with because I believe this, most of our squad don't get into a Liverpool side. And the ones that do probably don't even play in the starting team. Like, I will admit that, and I will die on that hill. And if that makes me a fake fan, then so be it. Because I want this team to be successful, and I am a harsh fan, and I do not blindly support any player, because I actually have standards. When you talk about the standards, you talk about the other issues. Where does that all start then? Because it's not the players who bred this. It's not the players who began all this. It starts at the top. So how about next time we look into the top, we look into the management, we look into the Glazers and Ineos, and we look at how they have ruined this football club, and we look at how they have caused a lot of the problems here at Manchester United. Thank you for listening, and I hope you tune in to the next one. Oh, God damn it!